Hello my little ravens, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Inkbound Midnight, also known as Tracy IRL, and today I am going to be walking you guys along my redrawings of old artworks from when I wasn't as skilled as I was now. In this video, I am going to be analyzing what I liked and didn't like about my old artworks and what I've changed or kept or improved on as I am redrawing the new version of that said piece. So please stay tuned, and if you liked or have a favorite piece or anything like that, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts and opinions. The first piece was from 2022, and if I remember correctly, it took me roughly about 2 hours. A lot of my artwork at the time at most took like 2 hours and like 30 minutes because my pieces were somewhat simple. They weren't overly complicated, and I still was, adjusting to using Procreate and getting used to digital art. So this piece here is like this pastel girl in space with a katana, and honestly I really like how creative I was with this because most of the time my pieces were very flat and they didn't have that much of an interesting composition. So looking back at my work back then, this is by far one of the most creative things that I did when I was starting to get into digital art. Also, by the way, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the pieces on my cell phone. So some of the things that I do compliment regarding this piece is how I subconsciously use the rule of odds. And the rule of odds is basically like, it says it in the name, it's basically when you use odd numbers in photography or art to just add a bit of visual interest to whatever you're doing. So you can tell I did that with the stars in the background and those like 3 clouds that are like almost circling around the character. Another thing that I did like was her long bright pink hair. I feel like that really stands out against all the pastels surrounding her. I also do appreciate the pastel color palette. I do love pastels even now. Overall, I feel like the shading could have been better and stuff like that. This looks very anime, like very anime, very much you don't know how to draw people of color. But it's a cute piece. It's not horrible. So moving on to the new version, this piece took me roughly like 8 hours and some change. I don't fully remember, but I'll edit that in there. I do like quite a bit, but I feel like I did stray away a lot from the source material. I wish I kept it a bit more pastel-y. That's not even a word, but I do wish I kind of kept it a bit more light. I think I shaded a lot and added a lot of darker purples to make everything more cohesive. I do wish I kind of made the stars a bit more yellow. I don't know why I did that, but I kind of wanted them to fade into the background more and make her stand out. I did make her hair significantly shorter, and then I added a bit of like swirls in her hair just to kind of add some whimsy, make it a bit more interesting to look at. But I do love how I rendered the hair. I don't really draw hair like this that often, like anime hair, so this was very fun. I gave her a nose, so that's that's another big change that I did. I do love how I drew her facial expression. I don't often draw angry facial expressions, but it's like she looks angry but still kind of cute. I do enjoy the way I rendered the clouds. I added a little bit of like little grayish yellows, purples, and I kind of had a more of like an airbrush effect to everything. I made the clouds a bit more airbrushed and more faded out into the background, so that it kind of gave that like lost in space vibe. And not only that, it didn't take away or compete for attention or focus of the girl in the center. I think I rendered the clothes much better than I did in the first picture, and I mean, the skirt isn't as bad as it looked in the first one, but I think that I should have used a better reference for the skirt. I didn't really use a reference that much. I was like, oh, I can do it myself, and it looks alright. I remember I struggled quite a bit with the hands. I'm not gonna lie, the hands are not something that I am the most proud of, but they're alright if you zoom out. But overall, I think the piece turned out great, and I can see such a huge level of improvement from when I first drew this compared to now. And yeah, I really love it. Some things that I think I would have done differently. I think maybe it would have been interesting if I made the stars like a little glowy, you know what I mean? Made them a little yellow like the first one. I kind of wish that I made the clouds circle her like I did in the first drawing. I feel like that would have been much more interesting. I kind of like loosely referenced this, but I kind of put my own modern spin to it. But overall, I think I did a really great job, and I like how it looks. I think maybe the leg anatomy could have been a little better. I'm still not very used to drawing muscular women, which is something that I am working on. So yeah, I still love it.
If I had to rate this from 1 through 5 stars, I would give this a 3.5.
Now, the next piece, which is this character holding a kiwi. So yeah, I found this also very cute. Like, looking through my old works on Procreate, I didn't even remember that I drew this. I kind of forgot about this. I made this in 2023, and I find it really cute. As you could tell, I had a lot of inspiration, like anime, webtoons. I read a lot of comics around that time, but I think this art style reminds me a lot of Down to Earth. That webtoon, I used to read it a lot when I was in middle school, and I really loved the art style even when I stopped keeping up with the comic. So I did take a little bit of inspiration from that. I'm gonna obviously also insert and give credit to the creator of that webtoon because I love her art style. Like, till this day, like, it's just nostalgia for me. So now, looking at this piece, I will talk about what I like and I don't like about it. So what I do like about it, I do love the yellow, you know, the yellow dress, the yellow nails. It adds a little bit of pop, but it doesn't overshadow what's going on. I love what I was going for. Like, I put a little bit of green blush and like freckles on her face to kind of make her resemble a kiwi, and then she's holding the kiwi. It was gonna be like this creative thing. I think I remember how much I thought I ate with that. But overall, you know, the lips look very nice. I like the lip highlight, you know, the green eyes with the green curly hair. I think that's very cute. And then I added like a little green earring. I think that's also very cute. And overall, I think it's like, it's not a bad piece, you know, for the skill set that I had at this time. Some of the things that I don't like as much, I do not like the fact that the background is like a solid color, and then the drawing for the canvas size that is used, and then the way that the drawing is just like in the middle of it, like smack dab right there, it makes her look like she's just floating almost. Because of the canvas size that was used and the fact that there's like that green solid color, and then she's just in the middle with nothing going around her, it makes her look very out of place, very empty. I wish that I utilized something. Maybe I could have done like a kiwi pattern in the background, something to kind of create a greater sense of uniformity. And then the hair. So I wasn't really used to drawing curly hair, and I remember this is how I used to draw hair for a long time. I couldn't draw different like textures of hair and stuff like that, so I kind of did my best, but the way in which the hair is like highlighted and shaded, it's not very accurate to how curly hair really looks, so it kind of adds a little bit of that, I don't know, it doesn't look the greatest. And since I also wasn't used to drawing people of color that often, and that is kind of like ironic since, like, you know, looking at me you can tell the obvious, I was still getting used to drawing different, like, you know, different hairstyles, different hair types and drawing people of different skin tones and different skin ranges and body types. So clearly looking at this piece right here, I could tell I was inexperienced because of the fact that I didn't even shade her palm of a different color. So overall, I feel like the shading could have been better and stuff like that. This looks very anime, like very anime, very much you don't know how to draw people of color. But it's a cute piece. It's not horrible. So in the newer version, I think I used the same canvas size, but I made it work. So I made the drawing, I made the girl in the drawing a little bit larger, just so that she would take up a little bit more room and there wouldn't be as much empty space around her. And then not only that, but I did, you know, instead of using harsh black line art, I did a sketch. And then what I do with my sketches now, I do not sketch in full black. I sketch in like a dark purple, a dark red. Sometimes if I'm feeling spicy, I'll do like a magenta or like a dark green, but I do not sketch in black anymore. I don't even outline in black anymore. At most I will do a dark blue, because I feel like black is a very, very hard color to work with, so I avoid using black now. And I feel like me using the color that I did significantly helped with blending things with the skin tone and adding highlights, and overall just added a different feel to it. I did change the expression of the girl. I kind of thought of like, you know, when people are modeling things, like when beautiful women are modeling and holding objects and they're just like kiwi. Like it's just something to add a little bit of more interest. So I gave her a really big expression, you know, like a playful expression, kind of a big smile. I also put a lot of more detail into the hair, the curly hair, and I really loved how the curly hair turned out in the end. I love the shading, the use of like, you know, neighboring colors. I use a lot of yellows, oranges, and greens, and I'm very proud of this. Like, I love it. And I also gave her a collarbone. You know, I added some shading on the collarbone, and I still kept her yellow dress and her yellow nails because I found that very cute. However, I did change her earring to a different color, like a pink, just to make it a little different and a little fun. And for the background, I just basically used similar colors that I used to color her in, just to kind of make it a little bit fun. And I kind of shaded everything in like a diagonal way, just so that, I don't know, like you look at the yellow and then your eye goes into her hair and just goes down, down, down. You know, it makes you look at all of the piece, all of the art. Overall, I think I did a really great job and I loved it. What I would have done differently, however, looking back at this, I did struggle quite a bit on the hand. I don't know what it was about the nails. I could have shaded underneath the nails more, I could have rendered more, but I kind of didn't want to spend too long on this piece. Regarding this piece, I wanted to kind of challenge myself to stick to a similar time frame to how long it took for me to draw the original. So this took me like no less than 3 hours, I think, or very close to 3 hours, but it's much shorter compared to how long I usually take on drawing my stuff now. So this was very fun, and yeah, very fun piece for me to do. I love drawing, like, you know, chest up portraits, because I usually do like much more complex things. So this was very fun, and I think she looks lovely, and I love her smiling expression, and I'm very proud of this. I'm probably gonna post this on Instagram when I'm done. But I think she looks lovely, just lovely.
From 1 through 5 stars, I would give this a 4.5.
Well, thank you so much for watching my video today, and let me know out of the two pieces, which version did you enjoy more, or which one kind of stuck out to you more. And yeah, we can have a very engaging discussion in the comments below. Thank you so much. Have a good day and night, and see you next time.